Hey guys, it's your boy M.K.S here, back with another video. This one just for a bit of fun, as many of my videos are, just for a bit of laugh or whatever, or just using my imagination and having fun with my imagination, my dyslexic creativity, I often say, or whatnot. I had a few ideas. I had like ideas overload, where I had so many ideas at the same time, so I couldn't really make a decision. I think that's one of the problems I face. I'm sure many fellow dyslexics do as well, where we have so many ideas in our mind at the same time that we just struggle to decide which one to work on, or which ones to work on, which leads to procrastination. So I'd love to hear from my fellow dyslexics as well, like what are some imaginations you have, or what are some of the problems you have, like you have too many ideas as well. And I hope I don't forget my train of thought. But yeah, as it's my birthday in just over 2 weeks, and I've talked before in some of my other videos about like goals I've got or dreams I've got, like starting up a charitable project that will help what I call six, and things like that. I thought I'd talk about some of my quirky ideas for Italian football. They're quite dream driven, shall we say, or idealistic or whatnot. They're not very realistic, if you like, but I thought as it's going to be my birthday and it's my birth month and stuff like that, and I like to dream, I would talk about some of my dreams and imaginations. So one of the things I was thinking is, imagine if Juventus, as I often say, sorry for any of my viewers who don't follow football, but imagine if Juventus could have like £1 billion pounds, or at least dollars or euros, $1 billion or even pounds or at least euros, to reinvest in the team and the squad. I know that a lot of people think there's too much money in football anyway. So again, I'd love to hear what you think about that. A lot of football fans themselves think there's too much money in football, but I find it really interesting when they have those transfers and all that. And I know a lot of footballers and football clubs do a lot for charity as well. So with great power comes great responsibility, as I say. So I think that if the clubs do earn that kind of money or invest that kind of money, they should invest a lot of charities into a lot of charities. So if Juventus and other Italian teams had like £1 billion, or even Celtic had £1 billion budget to spend, I think £1 billion or even more pound, or these dollars or euros, I think they should reinvest that in, like, give at least 10% of that to charity, or give 10% of that to charity. So I think like Italian clubs and Celtic, I think it'd be great if they gave like, if they used that money to invest 10% to invest in better players, or to improve the team and the squad, 10% to invest in the youth, 10%, and 10% I think should go to the philanthropic or charitable causes, and then possibly 10% to any other costs that a modern day football club would have, and the rest, like 60 or 70% remaining, I know I mentioned this a while back, but I think should go to, I think I was talking about a specific team when I was talking about that, but I think the rest should go towards the shareholders and investors and that sort of thing. So obviously they get a return. Obviously there's got to be something in it for them to invest. And I think a lot of owners like could look at what the Man City owners, I think they're Abu Dhabi. I thought it was Qatar, but I think it's Abu Dhabi. Look into what they did and how they made that work. And I think they actually, even though they invest a lot, they still somehow make a lot of money, which in my naivety, I think, if the clubs make that much money, why don't the fans just put money into the clubs? But on that note as well, I think it'd be great for Italian fans and Celtic. I love all possible Italian football fans and Celtic FC to donate at least 10%, or let's say 10% off their wages or earnings or wealth to in Italian teams' case, their local teams, and with Celtic, in Celtic fans' case, to the club itself. And like lost my train of thought. Sorry. I think that the clubs should have a bank account, like at Celtic as well. Have a bank account where the money that goes into there is set aside to definitely reinvest back into the club, into, as I say, all the costs of a modern club, and the things I just talked about. And also a naive idea I had, again, talking about being dream driven or whatever, being a bit of a dreamer. I had like the idea for like GoFundMe pages or crowdfunding for the team, but maybe they could just donate to this bank account specifically, like give 10% of their wealth or wages, like in direct debits or whatever, each year to their local club. And in Celtic fans do the same for Celtic. So that's one of my ideas. But yeah, I'd love to see. I was thinking, like, in my imagination again, like, what if Juventus had Pep Guardiola as the manager, who could bring in that attacking style of play to Italian football, which is traditionally more defensive. And I thought also Zidane, who used to play for the club, who was probably still is very skillful, and I love to watch him play. I think it'd be great if he had an ambassadorial role, but also a coaching role, including for the youth and things like that. And former players of Italian clubs generally, if they were involved in like coaching the youth and also being ambassadors for the club, like players like Kaká, or former players like Kaká, Ronaldinho, and players like that involved in coaching and then being ambassadors for the club, like representing the club around the world. I suppose that's what an ambassador does, as far as I'm aware. And yeah, players like that, and Celtic could do similar. Again, all these ideas could be interchanged for all the possible Italian teams as well as Celtic, and also including Italian teams at a lower level. One of my dreams for Italian football, which is, again, many people probably say it's a pipe dream, but I thought I'd share it anyway, as with all my ideas. But like 30 years ago, pretty much, Denmark won the Euros, with where they didn't even qualify, but a team got banned because of a war that was going on, and that it was the Balkans, and the country that qualified was involved in a war, so they got banned. And I thought it'd be interesting if like Iran or Serbia, sorry, apologies to any people from Iran or Serbia, I hope you don't get offended by this, but I thought it'd be interesting if they got banned because they, for a political reason, like taking Russia's side or whatever. And so again, hope you forgive me, any people from Iran or Serbia. Nothing against you personally, but as a fan of Italian football, I think it'd be quite interesting if they did get banned and then Italy took their place and did what Denmark did in the Euros, but this time at the World Cup 30 years later. It would be quite an interesting story, that one, which is another idea I was thinking of talking about. So as I say, yeah, I'd love to see, on the note, going back to the club teams, including Celtic, and lower league teams like Serie B teams, Serie C teams, Serie C, or however they pronounce it in Italy. I would love to see, as I don't know much Italian, I only support them in football, but I would love to see, this video is a bit unscripted, so please forgive me if I go off topic a bit or forget my point. But yeah, talking about my dyslexia imagination, I would love to see, as I say, the club teams getting as much investment as possible, possibly all of them getting like at least £1 billion or dollars or euros at least each, even pound sterling perhaps, or maybe even more. And with my quirky patterns and alliterations, I was saying, what if Italian teams were co-owned by teams like, say, companies or even entire countries, as I mentioned before, like Man City is owned by an entire country, and PSG, and now Palermo and other teams are owned by entire countries. But what if by an entire country? But what if Italian teams took it to the next level by being owned by entire companies, but even countries or even companies that had the wealth of entire countries? Like for instance, what if Bologna was co-owned by Sultan of Brunei, Borneo, and companies that begin with B, and even countries that begin with B, even what if they all had an investment, possibly even Brazil, or teams like, or countries like that, sorry, or companies that begin with B. And I talked before about how I love AC Milan to have lots of shareholders and co-owners and things like equity holders and whatnot, like Apple, Amazon, Alibaba, possibly even Amstrad, and others, and like Louis Vuitton. I know that doesn't begin with A, but Louis Vuitton, or even the owner of Louis Vuitton, Bernard Arnault. What if people like that network together and co-owned AC Milan? That could even, an idea could be that could open up a partnership generally, so that they co-own the same team, but they also have a partnership, and they could have a friendly rivalry with. I'd like it to keep it peaceful and friendly and amicable, but I know Elon Musk, for instance, has a bit of a rivalry with Jeff Bezos, as far as I'm aware. So what if he co-owned, if Amazon co-owned Apple, or were part of the people who co-owned Apple? What if, AC Milan, sorry. What if Elon Musk co-owned, or was, again, part of the people who co-owned Inter Milan? And also I'd love for like international companies like IBM, Microsoft, and McDonald's, again, going back to my alliterations, and possibly M&M's or Mars, I suppose, which owns them, could like invest in football in Milan, like invest in the academies and the infrastructure. And going back to Juventus, another idea I had for Juventus was, what if Juventus produced lots of great young Italian footballers, like invested a lot in academies? Like if they did have £1 billion to invest, what if they didn't? What if they invested in academies? Well, I suppose I already mentioned that with Italian teams. Like I would love for them to invest at least 10% into the youth, 10% into buying better players, 10% into youth, and 10% into charities. Anyway, I had a few more ideas to cover, but I think this video has gone on quite long, and I know people often tell me like people have a short attention span. So I hope you enjoyed my quirky ideas, and I'd love to hear what you think. Hopefully it won't be too harsh, and I'm out. Peace and love.